Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for joining to the second committee meeting of the Joint Ad Hoc Committee of the Committee on Adjudication and Committee on Administration and Management to consider the draft recommendation on effectuation of awards of monetary benefits for the upcoming ACUS plenary in June. I will roll call and then hand it over to Erica Litton to lead us through today's meeting. I will call two rolls. The first roll will be the names of committee members and alternates of committee members. After each name is called, the person should say here so we can make sure that their mics are working. So Erica Litton.
Here.
Thanks. David Friedman Engstrom. I think he should join soon. Susan Grunsman.
Here.
Thank you, Susan. Adam Kress.
Here.
Thank you. Jeffrey Lovers. Okay. Nadine Mancini.
Here.
Thank you. David Quinn.
Here.
Thank you, David. Roxanne Rothschild.
Here.
Thank you, Roxanne. Catherine Smith. Okay. Bernard Bell.
Here.
Bridget Dooling. Okay. Tobias Dorsey. Jillian Metzger. She said she might join later. And Joseph O'Connell.
Here.
Andrew Foyce. And Dan Hall.
Here.
Thank you, Dan. Is any committee member present whose name I did not call?
So Wheeler.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Matt Wiener from Adjudication.
Thank you, Matt. Anybody else? Last chance? Okay. The second roll will be the names of ACUS members who are not on the committee and their alternates. I don't have anyone that I know of that should be joining, but if anybody is present, you can please speak up. Is any ACUS member present whose name I did not call on any of the two calls? Okay. Please reach out via the chat function or via email if you experience any technical difficulties during the meeting. I would be happy to assist you troubleshooting or moving to alternative means of participating. And with that, I'll pass it on to Erica.
Thank you. So let me welcome everybody on this joint ad hoc committee, and I will read the standard ground rules, which we're all familiar with, but let me walk you through them. Please note that only ACUS members, including government members and their designated alternates, public members, senior fellows, liaison representatives, and special counsels, whether or not on the committee, and their designated alternates have full speaking privileges. To avoid background noise, I'd ask that you keep your microphone on mute and either use Zoom's hand raise feature or add a comment in the chat feature if you'd like to speak. I will then call on you and you can unmute yourself. Please then remute yourself when you're done. And if you used Zoom's hand raise feature, please remember to lower your hand. I'd also ask that ACUS members and their designated alternates use the webcam to facilitate conversation. With respect to attendees other than ACUS members and alternates, participation requires the unanimous consent of the committee members. Time permitting, I will consider calling on such attendees at appropriate points, and we will presume that committee members consent, absent their raising an objection. If any such participant would like to speak, please so indicate in the chat feature or by using Zoom's hand raise feature, and wait to speak until I call on you. You can then unmute yourself and please remute yourself when you're done speaking. For all participants, please use the chat function only to indicate that you'd like to speak, or for committee members and their alternates to vote when asked. Please do not hold any sidebar discussions or put substantive comments in the chat feature. Only members of the joint ad hoc committee of the Committee on Adjudication and the Committee on Administration and Management, including government members and their designated alternates, public members, senior fellows, liaison representatives, and special counsels, have a vote. Please do not vote unless you're a member of the joint committee. Eyal and I have a list of committee members in case you are unsure. With that, we can move on to committee discussion of the revised document, which I trust will be put up on the screen in a moment. Okay, we did get, I just want to say, we'll start, I think, with the recommendation itself and then do the preamble. And the only comments that we received by email before this meeting were comments from Bernard relating to the preamble, and they've actually been put in for us to look at. But let's start with the recommendation. Why don't we start with the beginning? And we can start with just recommendation 1. And I'll give people a moment to read it. Are there comments, concerns with recommendation 1? And within that, of course, is the caption for 1 through 3, improving access to information. 1 through 6. Comments on number 1? Going once. No. All right. Number 2. I could read these out loud. 1 just seemed too long. Comments, concerns? All right. Number 3. Okay. I'm happy to move on. We can look at number 4. Now, number 4, this was something that was left, the exact phrasing of this at our last meeting was left to the Committee on Style. So this is one that people should take a close look at. We had some discussion about, okay, Bernard?
Sure, you may have been about to get to this, but as I recall, there was some research that needed to be done with regard to this and some consultation, and I'm wondering what the result of that consultation and research was.
Right. And I don't have the answer to that. I don't know, Eyal, do you?
Sure, I think Leah can also step in if I don't present the entire picture. But before that, there was a request from the committee to make sure that it's technologically possible to have those type of transition systems and to check with agencies to their practices. And we engage with the research, looking at examples both in the VA and the SSA, if I remember correctly, of using middleware software, which is designed exactly for that transition period between a legacy system and a new technological system. The definition of middleware is actually defined in the preamble as well to make sure that it aligns with agency practices. And I don't know if Leah wants to add to anything I said.
Nope, you covered. Good. That's helpful. Anything else on number 4? Okay. Number 5. This is not wasn't changed last time. So looks the same. All right, number 6. Testing. Okay. This one we did edit a little bit last time, but it's oh, okay. Nadine.
This is just a broader question about the 3. I don't know if Al, if you could go back to show, yeah. Whether these should be reordered in some way. We start off talking about this transition middleware and then talk about automating tasks and developing new tools. Almost seems like the transition should come last. Like we're talking about using modernizing technology to kind of automate and test and validate. And then maybe the last thing should be when you're transitioning to that new system. Just a thought about organization. Committee on Style, just flagging that.
So you're saying what's currently 5 would be 4. It would go 5, 6, 4.
Yeah, 4 should come last, like
4
after.
last.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just in terms of how you would logically approach the topic. Yeah. Just a suggestion, Committee on Style.
Sure.
Or the committee. Committee thinks that's a crazy idea, obviously, tell me.
Yeah. That does seem like a style, and it makes sense to me, though. Bernard, is this on this or a new one? Oh, you're muted.
Sounds reasonable to me as well. And I'm just wondering, for someone who's not that literate at computer technology, are they going to understand what middleware software is? Should a footnote be dropped to that? Because is that talked about in the report at all?
It is talked about in the preamble now, I believe.
Oh,
Am I not? Let me. Is that incorrect?
Yes, it is in footnote 19.
Yeah, I was on the page looking for it. Yeah, footnote 19.
okay.
Agencies commonly use middleware software as a bridge between the systems. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good.
Right, and that was part of
Right.
that follow-up.
Okay.
Yeah, follow-up research.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay. Other reactions to 6 or to the recommended change of the order of the recommendations? If not, we can move on to number 7. Under promoting quality. This one changed a little bit last time, but not significantly. Okay. Actually, no, yeah, let's look at that. I was just thinking number 7. Let's make sure we're on 8. Make sure no one has comments on number 8. Quality assurance systems. No change from last time. And we didn't change it last time, so I'm trying to say. Very good. Then we move on to communicating effectively with claimants and representatives. Number 9. So last time we added the instruction that the explanation explain where to find information about the status of a claim. Comments, concerns? Nadine?
Just a question probably for Leah. This explanation should describe, and then we identify 1, 2, 3, 4 things. Is there any universe where there may be something else the agency wants to include, or does this kind of, I was just debating, should we say, should at a minimum describe? This is pretty much complete the list of things you think agencies would include in these explanations?
That's a great question. I think it definitely, I could envision agencies wanting to include more. I think what we don't want is that eligibility decisions then just become, like, claimants are expecting this to have all the information.
Yeah.
But I think that it could very well include some additional kind of standardized language that might be agency or program specific. So I think it's fine to say at a minimum, but I think that avoiding the eligibility decision becoming or setting expectations of having all the information related to effectuation was kind of the goal here.
I mean, another way to do it would, should include a description of, that include maybe would suggest that there's room to put other things, but it was just, it does seem like a fairly complete list. I just didn't know if there were other things that might be considered.
Well, Nadine, in light of her saying there might be agency-specific things that would be appropriate, do you want to recommend that we add? I mean, is that a suggestion that we add the at a minimum language, or
Either at a minimum, should at a minimum describe the, we could do that, or should include a description of whichever.
Bernard,
Let's do at a minimum. That was my first thought. So
okay.
Yeah.
Bernard, are you speaking to this issue or something? Wait, I think you're.
I'm on something else.
Okay, so why don't we try adding in then the no, it's on number 9. I'm sorry. It's the third line of number 9 where it says this explanation. Say this explanation should at a minimum.
Sorry, I'm trying to raise my hand, but for some reason I can't find the hand raise on the taskbar. So
I'm sorry, Roxanne. I was looking down rather than up. Go ahead.
Okay.
Are you speaking to this?
Rather than using the language at a minimum, what if we said should include inter alia? Because that means among other things, or we just say among other things, because to the extent that each agency may choose different things they want to put in there, maybe this isn't at a minimum. maybe there are some things here they would or wouldn't include, but like, for example, my first thought was maybe some agencies would want to include information about how someone could appeal the decision that was made. And some others may not need to do that. So I was just thinking rather than at a minimum, you say among other things or inter alia, or how you pronounce that.
I like that, Roxanne. Where AL was, I see says should include as well, so it's a little bit of parallel construction. That's good.
Yeah, I think that. I like that as well. Should include among other things, but then you're gonna want to reword the rest of it. A description, you'll have to change the, each of the following things to a noun clause, a description, identification of, you know,
You could just say any applicable. Well,
oh yeah, actually, you could just say any applicable. Thank you, Nadine. It's, and then an estimated time frame.
Yep.
And where to find, that'll work. Good. Good, Nadine,
it's
does
great.
that work for you?
Yep. Thank
you. Okay, Bernard, you had something?
Yes, on line 113, where it says where, that implies that there's some physical location in which one can find this information as opposed to calling someone to find out the information. So should we keep that in or use the word how or where and how or
How would
something?
probably cover everything, I would think.
Yes, I think how.
Al's great.
Other comments on number 9? Okay. Moving on to paragraph 10. Posting a plain language explanation. The second sentence there was added in our last meeting, I believe. Okay. Seeing no hands, I'm happy to move on to managing performance, which is the last part of recommendation. Roxanne, you got your hand up.
Yes. Thank you. Number 11, is this grammatically correct? It doesn't read right to me. Agencies should develop and adopt comprehensive performance goals and metrics for effectuation publicly available.
Oh,
Like there's some
no,
words missing.
there are some words
There's
missing.
definitely words missing.
It was develop and make, originally, it was develop and make comprehensive performance goals and metrics for effectuation publicly available. That was, I think that was how it was in an earlier draft.
So
So
we
it
could
was
say develop, comma, adopt, comma, and make. I don't know, you can wordsmith this.
and yeah, probably perhaps put make publicly available, put the publicly available there. And then it will, I think, flow a little bit better.
That's great.
Comprehensive performance goals and metrics for effectuation, including, and that'll work, I think, grammatically and stylistically a little bit better. Thank you for catching that. I am wondering, as I see that, whether we need date of the decision, because it's time from the date of the decision to the release. Would it be sufficient just to say average time from the decision to the release, or the date of the decision to the date of the release? I find the structure there a little odd. I
don't have a problem with it. And it's very specific, because otherwise people might be questioning when to start counting the days. I mean, I know it might seem like overkill to say the date of the decision, but
Well, then perhaps we should say the date of the decision of the release, then. That's the only, it was the lack of parallelism but that's fine. You can just leave it as is. I know I'm the only person who this seems to have bothered, so. Can leave it as is. Other comments or concerns? Nadine?
Question about the word initial payments and B. Looking to Leah on that. Is it just initial payments or any payments or recurring payments?
So agencies are already required to publish accuracy rates under the Payment Information Integrity Act. You'll see this on like payment-accuracy.gov when there's a certain amount of improper payments. But I think what they don't publish is like the initial payment after the effectuation process, if that makes sense. So like those payments could be continuing payments throughout the fiscal year that were improperly paid. So I think what we're saying here is just kind of like adding on to that in terms of just identify whether these were the initial payment made from the effectuation process, or whether that is, that's all we're saying, right? To differentiate between improper payments that occur while somebody is continuing to receive benefits.
Okay, got it.
Thank you for that explanation. Good. Okay, so let's, seems like everyone is comfortable then with the actual recommendation. Let's back up and work our way through the preamble. Okay, so you'll notice, actually scroll up just to the top so we can see that the recurring word there at the top. And let's take a look just at this first paragraph, the federal agencies administer paragraph. No comments, questions? Then let's do the second paragraph. Can you do a yeah, I guess we can see it that way. That works. Should there be an apostrophe in footnote 2? The veterans, I see that Word is flagging that as possibly needing an apostrophe. Nadine, I see your hand. I think there might be that's just a style issue. Nadine, go ahead.
Just a question about the use of the word determination on line 8. I'm just recalling, I think in the recommendation itself, we just talked about the date of decision and whether we want to use decision or determination.
That's
there
good.
For consistency. And we do call it the decision maker. So
Mm-hmm.
I realize determination, we're kind of spinning off of first determines, but it is the decision, right? Leah, am I
Yeah.
understanding that right? Yeah.
It says decision in number 11. Date of the decision awarding benefits. So
Just a thought as to whether to replace determination.
mhm. That's a good point. Bernard, is that on this issue?
Yes, so I just have a question. So when something is sent out to the claimant, is it just a letter saying you've been approved, this is the amount that you approved for? Or is there some decision attached that says why it is they found that? Because determination seems like it's the right word if it's the former. So I understand the point that Nadine is making, but I think determination might be better here.
I'll
So-
just, no, I
Oh,
was
go-
just going to say that I think it was the word sends that was getting
Oh.
me thinking about sends the decision. But I do think determination isn't a terrible word either, since it spins off of the determination. But Leah, I saw your hand up, sorry.
Yeah, and I think Leah probably can speak to this, and we may also want to look, I'll let her say this, but we may want to look at the language in paragraph 9 of the recommendation. But Leah, go ahead, maybe you can say a little bit about this.
Yeah, so I was just gonna answer Bernie's question about, so at this point, we're just talking about the eligibility decision that awards benefits. Generally, that is not going to have information regarding amount. Well, I guess it depends on the program, but that's not like the kind of the notice of award, if you will. That's just really saying, okay, claimant, you are eligible for the benefits that you applied for. And then a majority of the time, it might say something like, you'll receive a later letter from a different component of the agency that's going to calculate the amount of your benefits or something like that. So I think what we're focusing on here is, it could be a determination or a decision, but really just like the decision that says you're eligible, and then later, after the effectuation process is done, you would receive a notice saying, this is how much you're entitled to, this is how much we paid you, this is when you should receive your benefits, things like that.
And to be clear,
Great.
I think
Thank you.
paragraph 9 is the one in the recommendation that says what decision makers should include in eligibility decisions, right? And that's where we say it should describe the effectuation process. That's the letter that we're talking about, Leah, right?
Right. And just to be clear, so when we're talking about what should be included in the eligibility decision, I mean, we're not giving like a full laundry list of what should be included in, for example, an ALJ's decision awarding disability benefits, right? We're just talking about what should be included in those decisions related to the effectuation process. So I just wanted to clarify that.
That's good. That's really helpful. Thank you. Roxanne, are you on this issue?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask if we want to replace the word sends with communicates.
Leah, is that accurate? I mean, it's
Yeah, I think that's fine. They communicate it by sending a notice. So
I think communicates is a little broader. So like they communicate by email, they communicate by letter, they communicate by, I don't know, telegram. I don't know.
definitely that one.
and Nadine, now it was the word send that had troubled you. So
It
does
was
that
tripping me up, yeah. Roxanne's solution is great. I was thinking the agency informs the claimant of that determination, which is the same spirit, but I like communications.
yeah, good. So do I. Bernie, is this working for you now?
Yes, it's fine. The only question I have is the one you raised of then whether paragraph 9 should be now changed to determination. And if no one else has a problem with it, I'm fine with it, but you raised it and it seemed like it was a legitimate point.
Do we want to just look for a second at paragraph 9 of the recommendation? Just see, I don't know. Leah, you had a comment about that.
I think it's called different things at different agencies, especially depending on which level of the administrative process that the claim is awarded at. I think both are accurate, so I just think whatever is most consistent and easily understood.
I think this is probably fine, since we've now said communicates its determination, that we changed the phrasing. We're not, I guess my instinct is it's not going to be an issue, but Bernie, if you think we should.
That's fine with me.
All right, good. So then.
I was just gonna flag that we have decision also in 11A, the date of the
Mhm.
decision. But I think it flows from what we have here. Just flagging it if there was another spot. I think that still works.
Thank you. Okay, so let's scroll back up then to where we were. Okay, so that was the second paragraph. Is there anything else on this second paragraph, or we can move on to third? All right, so lines 12 through 17 are the third paragraph. Okay. Seeing no hands, let's look at 18 through 24. All right. I want to make sure I've given everybody enough time to read through it, but seeing no hands, let's look at 25 through 33. If there's nothing, we can look at 34 to 37. I'm gonna wait and do the redlined paragraph after. Just that short three sentences. Okay, so for the next paragraph, we had a committee on style edits, and then we had emailed edits from Bernie. Do you want to, Bernie, do you want to say a little bit about what you were doing here?
Sure, yeah, and apologies for getting these in so late, but that I didn't really have a chance to focus on it until this morning. So basically, the text is written initially, kind of puts together consequences of a poor effectuation process and special difficulties the agency faces in particular situations. And those didn't necessarily seem to be comparable, such that it made sense to kind of put them all together in one list. So what I tried to do here was separate out the two major consequences of improper or problematic effectuation processes, and then separately talk about special challenges in particular circumstances. And at the same time, I was also trying to make it a little bit more succinct, a little bit more direct. So the first sentence basically says that deficient effectuation can have two adverse consequences: delayed or improper payments, and then a sentence on the problems that each of those causes. And then goes into, it then says, instead of third, it says demands on agency resources in making timely and accurate payments are magnified when, and then that picks up the discussion of particular challenges that go beyond the normal challenges of making timely and accurate payments. So that's basically the rationale for this edit, which I don't think changes the substance. At least I tried not to change the substance of what was said. So I'm happy to answer any questions about the suggestion that anyone may have.
I have one question for you, which is the piece of paper that you sent, did you want to separate it into two paragraphs at the word demands? You did, didn't you?
That was my intention, but it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't really matter strongly one way or the other, but I think it does make sense to separate them into two paragraphs.
Because that was part of your point, was kind of thinking about them separately. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think that does help with the flow and help understand it.
So comments on these edits, Nadine?
I think this works well. Thanks, Bernard. I will note on line 41, I think the word benefits needs to stay in. For whom such benefits provide.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Good catch. Thank you.
Such. All right.
I think it's hard with the inline, but I think that's how it's supposed to read.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It also occurred to me in thinking about this that underpayments can also be a problem. Right. So I was consistent with the paragraph which talked only about overpayments, but aren't underpayments a problem, and should that be mentioned in here?
Is that an improper payment? Would we call that an improper payment?
Oh,
Leah is nodding.
okay. Okay. All right.
So it's
okay.
captured. It's captured in
Got
the
it.
concept
Great.
of improper payment.
Great.
Good. Dan.
Hi, yeah, I think in line 43, if we're starting the sentence with resolving, we could delete to resolve.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good catch.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yep, delete to resolve. Thank you very much.
Oh, and I did actually leave a choice of words in here as well. So on 44, I have both threaten and harm. Um, Harm seems more consistent with negatively affect, but I think as a threaten would also be a good word to use. So I don't have a strong feeling on which word.
I like harm.
Let's do that then.
Good. Other comments on Nadine? Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if Leah had any reactions to any of these changes. I realize I spoke in favor before maybe hearing if you had any concerns.
No, I don't think it changes the substance. So if this communicates it more effectively, then I think it's totally fine.
Great.
Okay, good, good. I think this is quite clear, this one. Nadine, do you have something more? No, okay. Great.
Now my hand needs to come down.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, so let's look at the paragraph. Yeah, I think we're good with that. So yep, agencies may adopt. And we have a little bit in the middle of the paragraph there from the Committee on Style. Okay. And this, of course, is where the we had the extended discussion last time, and there's the footnote about middleware now. Yes, Nadine.
I'm gonna try to stop talking here, but just flagging for Committee on Style that line 50, we say several strategies to overcome effectuation challenges. And I think that was spinning off of the prior version before we adopted Bernard's edits, where I think it led off with something like agencies face challenges. And here's how they can overcome those challenges. I think it still works, but I'll just flag it for Committee on Style just to see if it flows well still, that to say that transition
Mm-hmm.
in that way.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
In the note for the Committee on Style, maybe make a reference to it's because of the word challenges, which no longer tracks back to the prior paragraph. Previously the prior paragraph it talked about challenges, 1, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and we got rid of that framing. So it is about the flow from the prior paragraph in light of using different phrasing. Leah?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it might work to just say agencies may adopt several strategies to improve effectuation processes. Because I think we're talking about deficient effectuation processes now. So then this could just be, and I think that's a simple change to help it
Yeah.
flow.
Yeah, that's really good. So
I agree.
Leah, say it again, to improve deficient, several strategies to.
Improve effectuation processes.
Okay, yeah, improve effectuation processes. Good. Nadine, does that works good? Okay, so we don't need the note for the Committee on Style. Fantastic, thank you. Anything else with this paragraph? Okay, then I believe we have our last paragraph. Nadine.
Back on my promise to stop talking. Can we go back to the prior, line 56? We say notices and decisions, just flagging again for consistency with how we're phrasing this. Should it just be decisions? Is it more than, I mean, maybe Leah can speak to this. Is there something more than the decision? Is it any communication?
Leah?
I think, I mean, again, it's because agencies might call it something different.
Something different,
And so I
okay.
think that this kind of all just got different pieces, because it could be like a notice of determination, a notice of decision. I think probably saying decision is fine, but I think notices and decisions is also accurate. So I think it's just whatever, you can't really go wrong, whether you remove notices or whether you keep both. So if it makes more sense to just say decisions based on what we did previously and what's in the recommendations, I think that's completely fine.
I think it's the only spot, according to my quick,
Yeah.
where we say notices.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suggest we just say decisions then.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, especially if it's the only time we use it. Good.
All right.
And I moved off this paragraph too quickly, clearly. So anything else for this paragraph? Let me make sure there's, I don't rush us through this. Okay, well then let's go to the final concluding paragraph. I do, I actually think that for this, the list in the final sentence, I think is meant to track the caption headings for the recommendation. And we changed streamline to improve. So I think that that should be improve, and we should probably double check that we are tracking each of the recommendation headings. So I believe it would be improve access to information, then modernize technology, promote. Okay, yeah, just you should leave the decision making in probably. Then the next one is communicate effectively with claimants and representatives, and then manage performance. Yeah, the only thing that's extra is the phrase decision making between promote and quality, but that does not give me heartburn. It's consistent. It's just an extra word. Reactions, Bernie?
Yes, I mean, we can add decision-making quality, no, decision-making to the heading before paragraph 7 to make it consistent as well.
Yeah, that's a good solution. Leah, is that consistent? Does that change anything substantively? Is that?
Yeah, I was actually just gonna say, I think it might be confusing to say decision-making quality, just because I think we're talking about the effectuation part of this, right? And so we don't want to say, I wouldn't want to say decision-making again when we're talking about the eligibility decision. So I think it actually just might be better to remove decision-making from line 65. I think that's more accurate.
Good, thank you. Thank you very much.
So would it be fair to say it's promoting effectuation quality?
I think it would be accurate. Can we scroll back down to that recommendation section real quick? I guess we're talking about really the payments, right? I mean, so we could say promoting.
The header just says promoting quality there.
I mean, we could just say that.
We were okay with it there.
That's fine.
But I think it is effectuation quality, if that matters.
Are there views on this? Other views? Nadine, you had your hand up, didn't you? Did you take it
I
down?
did. I was gonna say the same thing Leah did, which is that I think that the later section of the recommendation is about more than decision making. It's really about effectuation. So I think just taking that out makes sense.
Okay. Are there other comments on this paragraph? Okay. So, do we, and can we just see, I want to see how many things are for the committee on style. Because we have now finished, there are several things, right, that will be addressed. Okay. You can get rid of that. All right, so that one is changing the order of the recommendations. Is there anything else that we have? Good. Are you going to do the title too, the recurring, or does that?
I think that's done during the plenary.
Oh, okay. All right.
But if we change the title of the project.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Of
I
course,
need to go
that makes sense. Okay. Bernie.
Just a quick question. Can't we just change the order of the recommendations 6 to 4 to 5? Why are we leaving that for the committee of stuff?
That's a very good question. There's no reason why we can't do that. You want to accept the edit or, oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I think we only have one thing for the committee on style then.
Okay, which is. Oh, okay. Good.
Sorry, nothing for the committee on side.
Nothing.
We corrected everything.
Okay, terrific. And is there some writing in red at some point that is not, I maybe just not that, it was lower down. It's probably just my imagination. Yeah, what's going on there?
There, yeah.
Yeah, why is it red? It's not a red line anymore. All right. Excellent. Okay. So I think, are there further comments or questions, or if not, I think we could proceed to a vote on this. All right, so there are no stylistic changes that need to go to the Committee on Style. So I think we can just do, Eyal, are you fine with a show of hands, or do you want to do,
Show of hands for.
okay, great. All right, so, I think we can, proceed to a vote. And Eyal, it's been a while since I did this. Do I need to do anything? Oh, wait, Nadine's got her thumbs up. All right. So do I just call the vote? Okay, very good. So let me get a votes in favor of adopting or what are we doing? We are voting on the draft recommendation to send it on. Can I get a votes in favor, please?
How do you want us to vote?
Well, hands, actually. I think that's what we decided. Sorry for not being clear. So if you can raise your electronic hand, and if that presents an issue, I suppose you can also wave your hand.
I'm afraid I can't do it
Yeah.
electronically, but I'm physically raising it.
Oh, very good. Thank you. All right, and if you want to lower them, if anyone is opposed, we'll wait till everybody gets theirs lowered. Oops, I should lower mine as well. And Dan, are you voting against, or are you? Dan, are you voting against, or are you just?
No, I was voting for, sorry.
Voting for, okay. All right, so now let me just see if anyone is voting against, please. Anyone opposed, please raise your hand. Okay, good. All right, so we are done. Thank you so much to, I have something to say about the plenary, but thank you very much to everybody for participating in the conversation, and to the ACUS staff and Leah for the report. I'm delighted at how quickly this and easily this went. The plenary is on June 11th, and everyone is, of course, welcome to attend. And if you have any questions about it, or would like to attend, you should get in touch with Eyal. And there's more information on the plenary and on this project, obviously, on the ACUS website. So with that, I believe at the early hour of 3:06 Eastern, we are done. And many thanks to everybody for their work. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you at the plenary.
Thank you.
Bye.